Hey, Nick.
Looks like it's time to
Yeah.
go. Can you hear my family yelling in the background?
How's the dog or the coyote that got hit?
Oh man, that was crazy. Aaron was there. I wasn't there. But Aaron saved a coyote today. A coyote got hit by a car, and
Oh,
it was on a really dangerous corner where there were people flying like around the corner, and there were, the dog was kind of in the road, and she managed to protect the coyote until the authorities came, which was like a 20 minutes or a half hour.
wow.
I called the Humane Society for her. She called me, and then she was kind of like standing in the road directing traffic. And then one of the neighbors came out and put a blanket on the coyote.
Oh man.
It was in pretty bad shape, but
Aw.
but it sounds like she made it. So
All right.
ready.
Yeah, that's really traumatic, man. You can never kind of unsee that stuff.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah. So we didn't really we covered some stuff last class. We didn't cover too much new material. We kind of spent some time rehashing some stuff, and then we covered like one verse of prose, and then we discussed what we were going to be talking about today. So I only have one homework question for you guys.
Hey.
Yeah, so I'll try to make up for it next time, though. We'll get the balance of it next time. Anyways, so is it possible to have a fresh and unerring perception of something that we've already had an accurate perception of?
Yeah.
If we see it again.
Yeah, there was, okay, so how does the act of forgetting play into whether or not something is fresh and unerring of a subsequent kind of perception?
Yeah, it seems like what Venerable Upala said is that you kind of like your mind has to lose hold of it, and then you grasp it again freshly, and then it's an accurate perception, right?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't. Yeah. Just to get, maybe I've got too much water. I just took a shower. Clean out my ears. I didn't hear you. Sorry.
That's got to be what it is.
Yeah. So okay. Yeah. That's pretty much it. I won't bore you guys by reading verbatim what I have down there, but yeah, just yeah, it all kind of centers around whether or not you've forgotten it or not. And then if you've forgotten.
So I guess not forgetting is Majepa.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Some promotion.
Not forgetting.
Forget.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, sorry about that.
Oh, no, I think it's cool. Not forgetting.
Yeah, it's better with the apostrophe.
I don't know what was going on there. Okay, so Dradan?
The meaning of the words.
The literal meaning, yeah.
The literal meaning, yeah, meaning of the words, yeah. Tolme or Tolmajon?
Clueless.
Yeah, there you go.
Clueless.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
Tell me about it.
Oh, yeah.
And Chushel?
This is like the
Crystal.
crystal.
The crystal.
Yeah.
The rock
totally.
crystal.
That's
All
it.
right. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
because
what
it's
about-
got water in it.
Mute-
Pearl necklace.
That's right. Yeah, string of pearls. Daptong.
Sahasrara.
Nice. Yeah.
Feels good.
Yeah. And
By the way, Daptom is what is that? Sahasrara is Siptong. Okay.
Oh,
Super. 1,000.
Sip means wagon wheel stick.
Spokes.
Spoke, that's it.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm not sure what Daptom is. Okay.
Petals, Scanlan.
This is matchless.
No, but I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not sure what the Sanskrit
Totally.
is.
Oh, I don't know.
unrivaled. That's kind of what I have here in this context.
Oh, again, is your microphone not plugged in? I think I realized
Oh,
after.
you're right. You're right.
It's hard to hear you.
Yeah, so sorry about the there's a maybe I went through too quickly when I was writing that first question. So on the homeworks that Venerable Upala uploaded to the Google whatever yeah, the Google folder, I think is what we're calling it, what they call it. There's going to be a spelling mistake up there, so sorry about that. All right, and I did what I could, and I found, you know, there was a couple of spaces where I tried to suss what I thought Kedjadre was trying to cover, and then I tried to brute force my translation into the Tibetan or from the Tibetan. So yeah, I'm ready for as much criticism as you can give me, because
Oh boy.
We love to get. But first, I want to criticize your pronunciation.
okay. Sheljan Nichir Temani Shepe Sheljan Rangchi Nisu Nepe Tak Kitsemen Tsema Ngunje Nisu Nepar Drupedun Deni Rangshin O Yi Tokchir Sheljan Nisu She Che Sok Le She Ge
Shing, not to criticize. Yeah, so it's kind of, he's turning to a real commentary here, and I don't know if he's gonna keep doing that or if he's gonna go off on some tangent. But and I don't know why I have to see someone go off on tangents, but he's quoting the root text in several places here. So there are two kinds of accurate exception because two kinds of objects can be considered. Good, nice. This quote is given for the sake of proving Shilja, that there are only two kinds of accurate projection. Yeah. With the reason that there are only two kinds of objects to be considered, actual objects and mental images. Good. Okay.
I definitely wanted to make sure I saw. So in the past, I've seen that you've translated Rangsin as definitive objects. Object that exists in and of itself. I guess from the perspective of the second school. What else? There were a few. I went through trying a few, and I ended at actual objects because I was trying to meet some sort of a parallel with what mental images would also be. Like you'd have the archetype, and then you'd have the actual. Because for a while we were using an expression of the archetype.
That's a good one. An actual case is not.
It gets a little unwieldy though in cases like this. It gets a little.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, I liked it too.
Yeah,
but I just wanted to make sure that actual objects was okay. I mean, it's not like a final, but.
No, I'm okay for now. We'll decide when we get there. We know what you're talking about. You're talking about the cup on the table, and you're talking about my image of a cup, right?
Right. Yeah. So the next one.
Wait.
Sorry.
Me too.
They're essentially for oneself and others. Yeah, okay, let's leave it like that for now. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
What does it mean, boss?
Well, the moral part is the hard part, I think.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk. Go ahead, Adam.
Sorry.
Go slow though, Adam. Talk slow.
Yeah, we'll do. I'll remember. So maybe this is a point where I could use that Southern draw.
yeah.
Make it work for you, man.
Yeah. I remember in one of the classes, I want to say it was actually in our last class. We KWJ went through a list of what we were going to cover in the next section. And when you got to Ngoa, you said, instead of essence, you were saying like the definitions of so I wanted to say, I heard, if I'm remembering correctly, I heard you say that Ngoa in this context was almost like a definition of like what it means to be like, for something to be done for yourself and for other people.
I'm not sure what it means yet. I was kind of waiting to see what he says. Yeah.
I see.
Did you catch the talk with the S on it?
I tried to, let's see.
Oh, that's the perception. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. All right, good. I'm not sure why the Ngoa is here. But there is a big distinction made in the Pramanavartika about perception, which is for one's own purposes, and perception, which is for others' purposes. And there's a big division like that. Like you're trying to help others, and then you're trying to figure out things for yourself. So he's probably going that way, but let's see where he goes.
Okay. Yeah, I couldn't, I couldn't find the flow between those two. So that's as close as I could get, but thank you.
Yeah, okay.
Oh,
by the way, I think he explained it here, but go ahead and read the
Taeyang di yinte ngonsum semar songway shelja rang tsentang jepak temar songway shelja chi tsin yimbe kyape chir tsemangon je nisu ngepe taksu rang chi nisu ngepa kapama yinte drami tak toki jepak tema drami tak parang sen la jepak tema yimbe chero.
Yeah, this is kind of getting us into hot water here. Day on D and day. Anything which is an object perceived by direct perception, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's yeah. Those objects which are perceived by direct perception, those objects which have been used to have a direct perception are called rangsen, the actual case of the thing. And then those which are used to establish something as deductive perception are called shitsens, okay? General case, archetypes maybe. Kyapechu, because there's only two choices. Either you are the object of perception of a direct perception, or you are the object of perception of a deductive perception. Therefore, there are only two kinds of sema, ngun and j, ngunsum and jepak. Yep. Okay.
Right.
And in support of that, Shevingepe Tatsu, Rangchi Nisu Ngepa Tuapa Mayan.
Right.
Okay. Let's see.
This is kind of what I had here.
Yeah. What this says is, look, you want me to give a reason why there are two and only two Nisu Ngepe kinds of accurate perception, direct and deductive? Well, I'm not going to use Rangsen and Chitsen to prove it.
Wow.
Okay. Okay. The fact that there's two varieties of objects, the actual things and the archetypes of things, is not why the types of accurate perception are two.
Okay.
So like we're waiting to see why are the accurate perceptions two? Okay.
Right.
Yeah. Nisikupa Mayente. John, now he says something controversial for us, I think. Drami Toki Jepak Sema the deductive perception which you use to perceive that sound is a changing thing, right?
Mhm.
Dami takpa rang sen la jepak sema yimbeche
Holy moly.
is, yeah, that's an accurate deductive perception towards the actual occurrence of the fact that sound is changing. Okay. And that's, yeah, somebody said, holy moly, probably Kramer.
Yeah.
And I would agree, because I thought anytime you closed your eyes and figured something out, then what you're perceiving at that moment should be Chitzen, should be an archetype. You should be dealing with archetypes. So why, by the way, he's just trying to be controversial, okay? I guess. And hopefully we get some explanation of it. Okay.
Okay. And
Oh my God.
ngun sum seme shel ja yina rang sen tang jepak seme shel ja yina chi tsin yimbe kape kang de tar shepa mayente bum pe dak pe sa chok ki bum me tabu chi tsin ka shik kang ngun sum seme shel jar cure wa tang drama tap tabu rang sing ka shik kang jepak seme shel jar ger wa yepe jero.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
can you go back to the last paragraph.
Yeah, right. You got something's wrong here, right?
No, he said in the last paragraph, he said,
Yeah.
We don't say that all accurate perceptions can be divided into direct perceptions and deductive perceptions. We don't say because on the basis of it's fixed that there's only two kinds of objects to perceive. It's not because there's only two kinds of objects to perceive,
right,
that we say there's two kinds of accurate perception. And now in the 345, he says, and I'll give you another reason, which is not why there's two kinds of accurate perception. And because in the third line in the middle, he says, Mayente, okay, you want another reason? You want another thing that's not a reason why there's two kinds of accurate perception? It's because if something is what you perceive with a direct perception, it has to be an actual case of something. And if something is what you perceive with deductive perception, it has to be an archetype. And that is true. Kya, third line, okay? Mm-hmm. I admit it's true, okay? So that kappa means, look, I admit it's true that if something is the thing which direct accurate perception perceives, it has to be the actual case of a cop, for example. And if something is the thing that a correct deductive perception perceives, it must be an archetype. I agree with that. That's kept. That's true. But that's not why we divide all perceptions into direct and deductive. Okay. And by the way, hopefully he's going to tell us why later. Because here's a second reason why not. Okay.
That doesn't contradict what we said a second ago, boss.
Yeah. Oh my God.
That somehow the deductive perception that sees that sound is a changing thing is seeing a rangsen. Didn't we just say that in the last paragraph? And isn't this contradicting that?
Yeah, but I think he's got some kind of greasy case of a deduction that sound is a changing thing. Maybe it's listening to the words as someone proves it to you.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Something like that. He's got something up his sleeve, I think.
Okay.
So let's start at the third line at the end. Humpe takpe sa choki hume tabu. The fact that there is no coffee cup in a location where there is no coffee cup, okay?
Mhm.
The fact that there is no coffee cup in a location where there is no coffee cup, that is an archetype, but you can perceive it directly you can perceive it with an accurate direct perception. So
Mhm.
what he's saying is, look, there are archetypes that you can perceive with a accurate direct form of accurate perception. Okay. And give me an example of something. Give me an example of an archetype that you can perceive with direct perception, with a direct form of accurate perception. And he says, the lack of coffee cups on a table where there's no coffee cups, you are perceiving, that's a archetype, and you can perceive it with a direct perception. Direct accurate perception.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that true? I mean, let's think about it. I mean, I'd rather just read on, but let's stop and think about it.
Well, I hope it's true, because otherwise, can we see emptiness directly?
Well, don't get into that. But anyway, you're going to get into Munsum Neljon. Okay, let's imagine a table where there's no coffee cup, and I'm looking at it, and I'm seeing that there's no coffee cup. I'm seeing the lack of a coffee cup. And according to this sentence, that's a archetype, and it's not a actual case of something. Okay. And
Okay.
he says,
I'm gonna go back.
he uses the word in the fourth line, gashik, which means what, Adam? Gashik in the fourth line at the end. Gash, just by itself.
You-
What gashik means.
Some. Yeah.
He's saying, look, there's some special cases. Gashik means some special cases where an archetype is the object perceived by a direct form of accurate perception. Okay. And by the way, if he just proved that there are certain archetypes that you can see with direct form of accurate perception, what would be the logical thing for him to prove next? Another group of weirdos.
Actual objects that you can perceive through deduction.
Yeah, good. The opposite. And there's also actual cases of things that you can perceive through deduction. And he claims to give us one. Dramitakpatabu. And see now, Ben.
Tabu.
Listen.
The appearance of it?
No, wait, listen. Dramitapa.
Uh-huh.
Dramitapa. Dramitapa.
Sound is changing.
The
Sound is
first
changing.
one was sound is a changing thing.
Mm-hmm.
And the second one is changing sound.
Yes.
Okay, I think he's playing like that. Unfortunately, in Tibetan, they're the same thing. Dhamitapa can mean sound is a changing thing, and that's a fact. And to me, you got to perceive that with deduction. But if you say Dhamitapa, which means a sound which happens to be changing at that moment, then what you're focusing on is a sound that is changing, and that's a direct perception, direct form of accurate perception. He's just being cute on us. Okay.
So if we say in your second example, so Dramitakpa and then Dramitakpa.
Good. Dhamitapa.
So because we're talking about an actual object which we perceive through deductive accurate perception, it'd be okay to translate it here as the changing nature of sound, right?
You could say that. Yeah, you could
Oh,
say
The fact
that.
that sound is a changing thing.
I would say
versus sound that is changing, or sound which is a
Yeah.
changing thing.
Exactly. Yeah.
uh, changing sound would be comfortably changing sound would be comfortably ambiguous here.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah. By the way, if you're translating right now, I gotta take my hat off to you, or my hair even. Okay.
Mm.
Mhm.
Okay.
That was it.
Let me do this last one. Let's
Okay.
say that it says changing sound which is changing, not the fact that sound is changing. And let's say it's focusing on a sound, and that sound has to be changing. And that sound happens to be changing. Let's say that you have a perception which is focusing on sound, and at the moment you focus on it, the sound happens to be getting louder or softer or something like that. Is that a rangsen or a chichen? Is that an actual sound?
That would be a wrong thing. Yeah.
Yeah, that's an actual
Has
sound.
to be.
Yeah. Now, how would you perceive that with a deduction?
Maybe instead of perceiving, being aware of it, maybe focusing in on the fact that it is changing.
Yeah, maybe some scientists told you that by the time you can tell the sound has changed, it has changed a bunch of times already or something like that. You know, I guess that's authoritative.
If there's a lag between perception and then awareness of the perception, and you're aware of, like, there's kind of background noise, and then you focus in, you say, oh, well, it is getting louder or softer. Yeah. Sorry, maybe it's a bunk. Maybe
I
that's
get
it.
if you have earplugs in and you see someone strike a bell,
Okay.
then you see the cause, and by virtue of the cause, you know that it's resulting in a changing sound, even
Yeah.
though you're not hearing it directly.
I'll go with the earplug theory. Okay. All right. Good. Well, I think he's just being difficult. I think a lesser author would have just said, look, if it's deductive and the thing you're thinking about must be the archetype, right? And if it's direct, the thing you're thinking about must be the actual thing. Anyway, he's just being his normal difficult self. Okay. Okay, Adam.
We still have the problem, though, don't we, of the first two lines? I still don't know why he's saying Shelja Yin Na Johnson, right? And vice versa, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't that seem like he's saying, look, I agree. If it's something considered by Munsum, it's Rangsen, and if it's considered by Chepak, it's Chitsen. Sure, of course, everybody knows that. And then he gives examples of when it's not true.
No, he says it's sometimes not explained that way.
Cape.
Shepa Mayente.
Oh,
Detor Shepa Mayente.
Detar Shepa Mayente.
Yeah.
But
oh yeah, even though it's always true, we don't talk of it that way. Or we don't describe it that way. Even though it's the case, we don't describe it that way.
oh no.
We don't say it that way.
Okay.
Because there's exceptions. Maybe he wouldn't use the word kappa, you know? It's true, but we don't say it that way.
Wow. That's interesting.
Yeah. Hey, Ben,
Maybe
if
when
if we go on, I'm sure it'll clarify it.
yeah, right. Yeah, totally.
That's Geshe Michael's retreat mode, not spiritual retreat. Okay. Adam, you ready to go on?
Let's do it.
I thought you were going to get to the easy part. He had poetry. He kind of set us up, you know. He lulled us into, what is that? There's all the emails I have to answer, you guys.
Oh my word.
Stop
We
whining.
send our love.
Yeah. My wife says, stop complaining about what you created. She's no fun anymore. She's
Oh,
talking like a Buddhist all the time.
So I was, yeah. So how do you think? I mean, did I get close enough to be?
No, you
considered?
did great. No, you did great. Yeah, it's extremely difficult stuff. And extremely difficult stuff. And
There's a
by the
couple-
way,
yeah.
he's taking very important parts out of the root text. And you know, there's some hope that he's going to actually write a commentary.
Yeah. I because this is Sema Deden,
It doesn't have to necessarily be Pramanavartika.
yeah, well, yeah. I was wondering if there's some way we could correlate what sections he was going to already and pulling from which books. Like, I mean, we're like 100 pages, I think, at least. And so there's points at which I've stopped and I've wondered, okay, well, what book is he drawing this material from? You know,
That's true.
even though there weren't like direct quotes.
In this section, he does have direct quotes. So that first part of this paragraph comes from here. And I blocked it out for you.
Right.
And the next part is going to come from here. And he seems to be skipping around to the major chapter breaks or something. He seems to be hitting he seems to be hitting the most important points. I don't know if Ben's text is the only text I've seen that goes through the whole root text wording in an understandable way. I don't think that's Kirib J's goal in this book. I think he's just wants you to understand his ideas. Okay. Do you want to choose somebody, Adam? Because your reading's good enough. Maybe there's somebody we could have learned to read.
we just did that one.
Yeah,
Vishala.
we just
Oh,
did
I'm
this one.
sorry.
Yeah,
sure?
like, geez, this looks familiar. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
They were done at 10
I was just tricking you to see if you remember. All right.
I'll pull up the participants here and have them sitting over to the side. Okay, random. Let's see. How do I say this? Pure gold. Haldis? Is that Haldis? Haldis?
Hello, teacher
Hi.
Adam.
You. Hi. Do you mind helping us here?
I'm
Go
so
slow.
nervous.
Memenda.
Te ne gang sen sung yo tu ye ne
Che.
che che ne
Chene. Yeah.
che ne je be
Ja.
ja je
Jill. Yeah.
je wa dang I don't know how to pronounce SPY P.
Yeah.
Chi Sang Song Yong. Duva
Che.
Che Ne Dao
Shilja.
Xiao Jia Zhao Wei
Yeah.
Zhao Zong
Yeah.
Ngang 因素这配
Nge. Say ngepe.
nhé phê
Yeah.
nhé phê thế
Stop.
kỷ tạ kỷ.
Nice. Yay.
Thank
you
you.
so much,
Good
dear
job.
teacher Adam and Grandpa. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're gonna keep going. Keep going. You're gonna be good. Okay. You can call me Argon. Yeah, I'm okay.
Thank you, Agong.
All right. Dana Rangsen Sung Yu the Chene. When you take Rangsen as your Sungyo, what's that mean, Adam?
When an actual object is taken as an object that you're holding.
Yeah. When the
yeah.
when you're talking about the actual cup as what you are perceiving, okay? And in that case, you jalwa a shelja.
You consider an object to be considered.
Yeah, or you perceive something to be perceived. When you perceive something to be perceived in the manner that the object you are perceiving is the actual case of a coffee cup, okay?
Yeah.
And chichen suyu to chene. When you take a chichen as your sungyo,
When you take a mental image or an archetype.
when you take, let's say, archetype as what you're perceiving, right? And in that way, you perceive what you're perceiving, okay?
Okay.
There's only those two ways of perceiving things, no more, no less.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Now,
Okay.
this came up. I was wondering because
Slow,
I had
talk slow.
Sorry.
Long breath.
Nisu ngepeta. We had an occurrence of it in one of the verses that I was responsible for, and I was just wondering how the talk functioned here at the end.
Yeah, I'm about to tell you. Hang on.
Okay.
Means look. There's only two ways of perceiving objects. Okay.
Yeah.
There's only two ways of perceiving objects. Then he says, I'm going to prove something using that fact as my reason.
Right.
Okay.
I'm going to prove something using that fact as my reason. So it's going to sound like this. Bada, because there's only two ways of perceiving things. And we don't know what he's proving yet. He says, I have a reason in mind. What's your reason? There's only two ways to perceive objects. What are they? Well, you can either do it with an actual cup, or you could do it with an archetype of a cup. Okay. And now I'm going to use that to prove something else. Okay. And that's what's coming next. Okay. I'm going to say blah, 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 because there's only two ways to perceive things, either by holding it as the actual cup or by holding it as the mental image of the cup. Okay. And what's he going to prove by saying there's only two ways to hold? There's only two ways to hold things. There's only two things you can hold, either the actual thing or the image of the thing, the mental picture of the thing. Okay. What's he going to prove, right? He's going to say, and by the way, that should probably go with the up here. Okay. There's only two ways to hold things, either as the actual cup or as the mental picture of the cup. Therefore, taki means because of that reason, it's absolutely ngepa that there's only two semas. Okay, because there's only two things to perceive. That proves there's only two kinds of
perception.
Perception. That's all.
Accurate.
Yeah, that's all. Accurate perception. Okay. And then he says, you need a person to read this next piece, Adam. And they have to do it quick before Grandpa forgets the point.
Okay. Cindy? Pure gold Cindy. Okay, 3, gold once, Going twice. What about Elena? Elena, how? Pure gold, Elena, how? What about Doreen? Okay.
Okay, Doris here.
Cool. Thank you.
Turning room young Adoni.
Shelja.
The first sentence.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sheng Yang Jing
Shelja.
Sheng Jiang
Ni.
Sheng Jiang in the
Ni cheer.
Niger. Okay, thanks for teaching.
No. Hey, Adam, make her do it. Make her do it. Okay.
Okay.
Sema.
Yeah.
Okay. Doreen, say Sema.
Sema.
Good.
Sema.
Adam, what should she say next?
Ni.
Ni.
Say ni. Okay. Keep going, Adam.
Yeah. Shepe.
Shibe.
Good.
Dun. Yinte.
Dong
Good.
in the.
Okay, nice. Yay.
Yay.
Thank you.
Yay.
Yeah.
Thank
Now
you. How
you
lucky
can-
I am.
Now you can turn off your microphone. All right. Okay. Shelja Nietzsche, Semeni. He quotes the opening line of chapter 3. So I have to feel like he's trying to get to the root text and he's touching on the major points. He says, because there's two kinds of things you can perceive, that's why there's two kinds of perception. Okay.
Mhm.
What's the two kinds of Sheljas, Adam?
We've got Rangzhen and Chitzen.
Yeah, nice. Because there's only two kinds of things you can perceive. Therefore, there is only two kinds of perception. Okay. And he says that's what they mean when they say that. This whole first part of the section here is the reason why you can say there's two kinds of perception, because there's two kinds of objects. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And who's going to read next?
Hold on. Go quick. Ning Shang.
Oh,
Shang. 3, 2. Okay, so Moon. Do we have Moon? That's a beautiful name. I like that. Mark Liao. Mark Liao.
I suspect your accent sounds Mississippi even then.
I bet. I'm trying my hardest.
I
Can never get away from it, I guess. Karen Guo. Karen Guo. Jackie and Matt. What about Jackie or Matt?
Hello, Adam. Hello, Geshe-la.
Hi. Thank you. Do you mind helping?
Di, ni, rang,
Shin.
shin, go,
No.
no,
Yeah.
bo,
Wo.
Wo.
No. Yeah. No. Wo.
bo, yo, e,
Yeah.
bo.
Yeah.
Oh, this one.
Cheer.
Cheer,
Like cheers, but
cheer,
Yeah.
cheer.
Yeah. Shelja.
Shelja. Ya,
Ni.
yi,
Ni. Yeah.
ni,
Yeah.
su,
She.
she.
Jay.
Che.
she,
shape.
she. Okay.
Okay.
So
So,
Yeah.
thank you.
Okay.
thank you.
Danny Rangshengo Yi Doju Shengyuan Yu Shi Xie. It's some kind of root text, right? This yi means because of the fact that their nature is either self or other. Okay. Because
Okay.
of the fact that their nature is either self or other. And through that, you
Okay.
perceive them. Okay. You
Yeah.
perceive them through their own essence or some other essence.
Yeah.
That's why we say she. There's exactly two kinds of perceivable objects. Okay.
Okay. So when you say their own essence, this would be applied to like Ronson. You're
I
perceiving
believe
them
so.
through like their
Yeah.
aspects, their colors, their shape. And then
Yeah.
if you're perceiving them through something other than themselves, you're doing it by way of your mental perception. Is that kind of it?
I would say that because when you perceive something through some nature that it has itself, you are perceiving an actual case of a coffee cup. And when you perceive it through something else, like I didn't hear the sound of the cup falling on the floor, which is shen, right? Something else. Therefore, I perceive the chitzen of a coffee cup. Okay, I perceive the mental image of a coffee cup, which is still there, even though my eyes are closed.
Okay. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So
And
now that verse that I was translating earlier makes a little bit more sense now. Okay.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. So I think the point is that you cannot perceive a chitzen with an accurate perception directly. You have to use a reason. You have to use a reason. Okay. I would guess that. Okay.
Okay.
Nisa shit, chisha. Who's up next, Adam?
Let's see. Joel? Joel? JC? Okay. What about Hardy? Hardy? Okay. Sharon? Sharon?
Is it me? Okay, but I don't really know how to do this.
Oh, it's okay. Yeah, we'll walk through it together.
Help me, please.
Yeah, definitely.
He's got a lot of practice with his daughter.
From Zena.
Yeah.
Zena. Dong ye na.
Che. Dun che.
Na che. Mi na.
No. Oh yeah, miniature. Okay. Yeah.
Se chon in dong xiang.
Kyang. Yeah.
Dong ye na.
Che. Dun che nupa. Dun che nupe.
Dong che nupe. Chot chun yon du ye pa.
Che pa.
Chepa is long. Dong mi nupe. Chot.
Yeah.
Yon du ye pe. Chepa.
Yeah, good.
Not sha.
Gone.
Shao.
Yeah. Shell ja.
Shao ja. The last one. Shao.
Gel.
But
wow.
What? Yeah. Soon.
Ni. Remember, the only thing that's silent right there on the ni is the G there. Okay.
Pe.
Yeah. So it's ni. Yeah. You want to put that in. You want to use the in there too.
This one.
Good.
셋, 손, 눈, 십, 다, 여. Sorry,
page here. Yeah,
Page.
page here.
page. 셋, 손,
Soak.
두,
Che
soak.
soak.
셋, 다, 여,
Jiao.
Ciao.
ào.
Yay, good job.
Thank you.
That's
It's
the
not
first.
easy.
Don't worry. It will get
Yeah.
better every day. It will get better every day. Adam, there we go.
Therefore,
And then he quotes the second line of the third chapter, which is
because something can either perform a function or not perform a function.
yeah, because either the thing can do something or either the thing cannot do something. Okay. Chesok hidun kyang. Chesok hidun kyang means, hey, you want to know what that means? I'll tell you.
Okay.
When you take a dunje nipe che as the sungyo,
When you take something that can perform a function as the object that you're holding,
yeah, when you take something that can do something as what you are perceiving, and when you take a dunje minupe che sungyo tu chepa, and you are going to distribute dunje here, okay? You're going to add, in your mind, you're going to add a dunche in front of minupa.
okay.
So when you take a dunche minupeche as your sungyo,
When you take something that cannot perform a function, an unchanging thing.
yeah. So whether the thing you are perceiving can do something, and by the way, it's assumed that it exists, and whether the thing you are perceiving cannot do something, and it's assumed that it exists, we can say that therefore all shell jaws are exactly two, no more, no less.
Okay.
All perceptions of things are either holding things which are dunje nupa or things which are dunje minupa. What's that mean?
All perceptions, so perceptions are all objects that can be perceived are either something that function or something that doesn't function.
Yeah, and somehow that acts to clarify that there's only two kinds of perception. Yeah, okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Right. Good. Okay. Shepajal means that goes way back up here somewhere. Okay.
Wow.
Right. Up here. Okay. That you can understand what I set up above from these different quotations that I'm giving you. Okay. There's a nice baby deer walking by.
Aw.
I'll show them to you later. All right. Here's the root text.
What folio is this one from?
I'm sorry. Check this out, Adam.
Okay.
I cheated because I put the whole page. So I put the whole page because I have to catch a page number, right?
Yeah.
I wanted to catch this page number. And between the page number and our quotation, luckily was She Jawa Liu Nipao.
The end of the second?
Yeah, that's the end of the second chapter. Ergo. Sorry. Therefore, your quotation must be the opening of the
third chapter, yeah.
Yeah, third chapter. Okay.
So Leo Sum, yeah.
Yeah, and I hope he gets into the order of the chapters and all that. Okay.
All right.
We came to an easy part.
Okay.
Minute warning.
I think we get the easy part. 2-minute warning? 3-minute warning.
1 minute warning.
Yeah, 1 minute warning.
Seriously?
It's one, yeah.
Okay, Adam, I'm off the hook. It's your turn to give us a summary.
Okay.
By the way, Adam has one more class, so don't despair. We will end his classes on an easy part.
All right, let's see if I can remember this. In the section that I translated, there was a line that said that perceptions aren't always explained as being fixed at two, as either direct or deductive. And what we've been discussing is possibilities for why that may have been said. We got, so yeah, and I think that's about as far as I can go with it. I apologize if that's not as in-depth as you guys need.
Well, I think just that the main point he's making is how many kinds of perception are there, Adam?
Two.
Which are?
Direct and deductive.
Yeah, and how many kinds of objects are there?
Two.
Which are?
Wrong sheet.
Say it in English.
The actual object, and then the expression of the archetype and the archetype itself.
Yeah, let's say the real coffee cup and then the idea of the coffee cup.
Okay, the real coffee cup and the idea of, okay.
Those are both real, okay? Ideas are not coffee cups, but they are real ideas. So there's only two kinds of real things in the world. Either they are the real things, or they are the mental images of the real things, which are also real. And therefore, there's only two kinds of accurate perception in the universe. Okay, that's all. And just to say there's only two kinds of stuff in the world, and there's only two kinds of perceptions in the world.
Yeah.
And by the way, there's only two levels of functionality of stuff.
Yeah, it either functions or doesn't. That's
yeah.
I think that was the biggie that I left out. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like people. Either they're working or they're not. Okay. Yeah. So those are three sets of two, and somehow they all support each other. How's that? Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I know you have one more class because I checked. So you can translate this next section on your own. Nipa Dradon Shipani, Chichir, Mangingo, and the one where I said emphasis, okay? Those sections. Okay. And this is going to be a Dradon, which is why do we call it Rangchen and why do we call it Shichen? That's
right. Okay.
And that's nice. Okay.
Cool.
Why do we call it the actual coffee cup? And why do we call it the idea of the coffee cup? Okay. All right. Good job. Where's my granddaughter?
She's in a trip to the dog park.
Oh, with Gracie?
Yeah, Gracie and Kate rescued a dog a little over a few months ago. And so we've got a new dog whose name is Sully. He's a really, really cool guy. Yeah.
How do you name a dog Sully, if I may ask?
Sullivan. And I don't know where but Sullivan, yeah.
All right.
Like it's pretty good.
Ed Sully show. Okay. All right.
Yeah. Thank you again. Thank you. It's a great class.
Thank you. Well, we understood more than usual, I have to say. Okay.
Speak for yourself.
I didn't say everything, but
yeah.
Right.
Thank you, Geshe.
Professor Nick, how much time we got here?
Thank you, Geshe.
2 minutes.
Yeah.
Come on.
2 minutes. You want to take 5?
Okay, 5 minutes.
Thank you, Geshe. Thank you, everybody.